Okay, Rich, so we were at Max and we saw an awful lot of amazing stuff.
Oh, so much stuff.
Loads of stuff. So if you had to pick maybe 2 or 3 things out of that were your absolute favourites, where do you think you'd start?
That's a good question. I think I would focus definitely on the mobile apps. I think for the first time, the creative professional is able to use those mobile apps in a way they can start the ideation process on their mobile devices and then move them across into their desktop machines. And I think my favourite of those apps is going to be Shape. Adobe Shape enables me to go out and collect organic shapes and organic things from the real world and bring that through into my Photoshop files or Illustrator files and really use that creatively. I think that has to be the one for me.
I know you like that one a lot. It is a great app though. It really is, to be able to capture bits of art, and I like capturing bits of graffiti and street art with it. Absolutely. And bringing that back in and creating new things from it and using it in compositions. I think it's a good choice, a good starter.
What about you, Tony? What's your kind of...
I think I really like, from the mobile apps, I really like, obviously I like the sketching things because I draw, but more than that, I think from feeding into the other apps, I'm really keen on Brush.
Right, yeah, Brush is cool.
Oh, the ability to be able to create brushes for Sketch and for Illustrator and for Photoshop from an app, all based on things you can capture on your phone or on your iPad.
Right.
Amazing that you can do that and then modulate them in such an easy way. I think that's killer.
Yeah, I've been using that as well, as you know, and you gave me some charcoal to try, and I was scribbling my charcoal and taking a picture and using that as a brush in Photoshop and also in Sketch on the iPad as well, and it just felt like it was a piece of charcoal I was holding, but I was working with it digitally. It was amazing. It was so kind of compelling.
I've used everything from bits of chewing gum stuck on walls to paint splashes to knots in wood, just capturing stuff that's got enough contrast and turning it.
It's so experimental. It's so cool, and things just aren't like what they are in the real world when you try it. You just pull it in and you just start playing around with it and see what you get, and you get some really obscure shapes, really make amazing brushes. Just like, so I found some cloth at home and I took a picture of it and I brought that in, and it made some really, really great shapes that I can use for my 3D stuff. And I use it as textures and bump maps and all that kind of stuff. So just using it in a little different way.
It's a great time for experimentation, and that's of course the fun. And when you're having fun, that's when creativity actually is born of a thing, because you relax, you're enjoying yourself, and you think, oh, what if, or getting something completely unexpected from it. It's great.
And of course, one of the big things at Max was, the Creative Cloud libraries. What do you think about Creative Cloud libraries?
We talked about the persistent creative profile was the idea behind Creative Cloud. So in the June release, we kind of made a big deal about the persistent creative profile, where you, on the website, you saw the picture of yourself and then all of your things underneath it, and meant to be a profile that goes everywhere with you. And I think that libraries, along with the rest of the mobile apps, it is a really big thing, and it's that actually realised now, where you can use colour, or our colour app, for example, to catch colour themes while you're on the go, and they're automatically part of your library, and to bring things down from market. It really does travel everywhere, and all of those brushes travel everywhere with you. Yeah. Fantastic.
It's kind of interesting when you start using Creative Cloud libraries that you're taking a picture with your phone, you're working with a brush, or you're working with Shape, and it's there when you're desktop. You're thinking, how did we used to it before?
I know. If I had to carry all of the things that would be the real world equivalent of what we're doing, I would need a huge Bergen. I'd look like a paratrooper going out with like 74 different markers of different types and different colours and loads of coloured pencils and cameras and all that. But we're all carrying these mobile studios around on our devices.
So have you found that's changed your process for creation?
Yeah, I think it has actually. I draw a lot, right? So I really do get the most out of those things, and Sketch, for example, the fact that we can now send Sketch, work from Sketch directly up to Illustrator, and then go to the object menu and then just expand that to editable vectors. That's just incredible. Fantastic. Really good. So I absolutely love that. What about things on the desktop? What have you found on the desktop that you think?
That's a good question. Because there's actually loads of stuff on the desktop there available. I think from a Photoshop point of view, which obviously what I kind of...
It's going to be 3D, isn't it? I bet.
It's going to be 3D, right? I mean, yeah. I love 3D and I love working with 3D and I love 3D printing. So I think what we did around Collada and the support of Collada files is phenomenal. Where you can take, a model designed in, a 3D application or even designed and built in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Take that file and then using the service that we partner with called Mixamo to be able to take that file and then rig it online within minutes, which normally would take an animator a lot days to rig something.
Yeah, probably more.
Yeah. It's quite a complex process, and then to be able to take movements and animations, full kind of body tracking. Yeah. And then animate your model and bring it to life. It's kind of amazing. And then, bring that back into Photoshop as a Collada file and then play it on the timeline. It's just amazing. So you can, I've been comping that into my photographs and making things run around the scene and stuff. And it's kind of
render to video. So
it's cool. But you don't think, and then to move on to the 3D printing thing. The cool thing is that if I like a pose of that animated object, I can then stop it at any point in the timeline, and I can then print it. Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, it's completely changed my workflow. I think it will change the workflow for many people out there today.
I think it is a complete. There are some real game changers in that.
There are, yeah. How about you, Tony? What about your?
I got two things, I guess. First of all, the join tool in Illustrator. I think that's a big thing for it. It doesn't sound like much. But it kind of is, because where you've got things where you had overlapping paths and you were trying to turn them into one path before, that would involve you cutting the segments away and deleting them. Right. Now you just swipe across those and the overlaps are gone. Or where you've got points that don't quite touch, you can just swipe across those and then they join instantly. So that would be huge. It's just a huge thing. But I guess the thing that really is a wow for me, and that is another game changer, is in Dreamweaver and our extract technology. So we're interoperating with Photoshop. We've already shown how we can do that in a browser. So you can, because loads of web designers use Photoshop for comping, right? They put the comp of their web page together and then they hand that over to the dev, and the poor dev's got to try and work out all the measurements and everything like that. Right. Now we can extract that from the browser, but also in Dreamweaver, you now got it sat in a panel. And not only can you render the CSS from there, you can actually drag the CSS, you can actually drag elements from the Photoshop comp into a real layout and just type in a name and it's instantly there and usable in the layout. And that's going to save days in some workflow, just days. It's incredible.
It's amazing. Right?
Absolutely amazing stuff.
So there you go. So that's our kind of summary from our Adobe Max event. We've been using the tools. We love them, right?
We do, absolutely.
Awesome. They're so cool.
Yep.
And we hope you do too. So, we look forward to seeing what you create and hearing back from you guys out in the field.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much, guys.